Good evening everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday evening practice. I hope everybody is feeling good. I'm not sure if you had a little read on the notes below, but if you could grab either a towel or a blanket, we're going to roll it up. We're going to use it for a couple of our exercises that we're doing this evening, a couple of our asanas I should say. So if you can roll up your towel, you don't want it too thick, or roll up your blanket, because that's how we're going to start. Obviously our season is changing, we're coming into autumn at the moment, although you wouldn't know it by the weather, but things tend to be a little bit more unstable at those transition times of coming into a new season, and certainly with everybody going back to school and not being on holiday anymore, and you know, things changing in lockdown. So you may be feeling a little bit unsettled, a little bit in need of balance and grounding. So we're going to work on a couple of those things this evening, and I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to take our rolled up blanket or towel, and we're going to start off by placing it underneath our shoulders, so underneath where our shoulder blades are. So just coming down onto the mat, find the bottom part of your shoulder blades and place the blanket there, and gently lay yourself back. Maybe you need to take out your hair bubble. So coming into cactus arms, and then bringing those knees up to make sure that we're not putting undue pressure on your lower back. We're going to start in this nice comfortable position, making sure that those shoulders are down and away from the ears. Maybe give the head a little move from left to right, just to find a really nice stable place in the center. And then we're going to close our eyes and spend a moment resting here, opening up that middle back and coming into a nice relaxed space. And again, obviously the opposite side of opening up that middle back is our heart center. So we want to see if we can get a nice open breath into that center heart space. So as you close your eyes, start to let your body soften and sink away into the earth. And as you do so, your body will naturally slow down in terms of your breath and your heart rate. And we find that ease of breath here. So again, with that open chest cavity, that space for your lungs to breathe, we give ourselves those really deep, expansive breaths here to begin our practice this evening. So again, we're being held in this comfortable space, allowing your body to soften over that space of the rolled up towel or blanket. And again, in turn, creating just that little bit of extra space to allow your body to open up, to breathe deeper. And as we breathe, we're just noticing the space around the shoulders and the neck. Again, any kind of tension, any anxieties about perhaps sending the kids back to school or going back to work in a different capacity. Any kind of anxiety can be held around that shoulder space, around the neck space. So we're giving ourselves time to let that space soften and sink. And as you breathe here, notice any niggles around the rest of the body. Maybe the lower back is feeling a little tight. Maybe you've been enjoying this wonderful weather and going for some runs, so maybe your legs are a little tight, or bike rides. Again, as always, we notice what is true for you at this present moment in time when you're joining me on the mat. Maybe you're practicing on catch up, and again, in which case, just noticing what mood your body is in today, how we're feeling emotionally, physically, mentally. Take time to acknowledge that feeling, those thoughts, those niggles in the body. We're going to take a really big breath into the center heart space. As you exhale, big open mouth sigh to let the body soften and sink. 2 more of those. Nice big breath in. Really big sigh out. And then last one, big breath into the center chest. Using all that space that we're creating, and then big sigh out. So again, we're taking this time to notice how the body is feeling now that the body has naturally slowed down. We're going to take the hands and place them onto the sides of the jaw. Again, still with eyes closed if you can, and start to gently massage around the jaw, underneath, around the sides. Moving gently, kind of circular, probing motion that isn't too hard, but again, just noticing if there's any tension, certainly around the back part of the jaw, and then move that motion around to the temples, around to the forehead, around the eyebrows, the eye sockets, a gentle tap underneath those eye sockets. Again, nothing too hard, just working within your own limitations, certainly not trying to cause any damage, just a gentle massage into those spaces. Just a little bit of pressure to release any tension that's held there for you. Again, nice big breath in, and as you exhale, let the arms fall out to the side. Again, we're going to use that gentle rock of the head from left to right, just to notice your neck. Any tight spaces there, allow it to soften and sink. And then from here, still with your eyes closed if you can, just rolling to one side to wriggle your blanket or your towel out of the way for a moment. We're going to need that later, but we'll just move it to one side for a moment. Stretch the legs out nice and long. Take the hands into clasp and push them over the head to create that long straight line through the body. Big breath in. And again, that big sigh out to release. And then draw those knees in towards the chest. Again, all the while with the eyes closed, to give yourself that heightened awareness of the body. A gentle rock from left to right. Again, notice your low back. How does that feel for the kidney space? How does that feel for the sides of the hips? And then from here, we're going to blink those eyelids open. And we're going to start to rock forwards and backwards. If you can, crossing the feet at your ankles. I'm going to do 2 or 3 of those, and then we're going to come up onto crossed legs, roll over the knees, and come up onto all fours. So just moving yourself back into an all fours position. Just need to resume my hair tie, and come in with those shoulders over the wrists and the knees underneath those hips. So just a gentle sway from left to right, just to assess again the back body, noticing what's there for you today, and then coming into the center line as you spread the fingers nice and wide, lift them up off the floor, and then roll them back down into the mat. So really anchoring down through those points. Again, in our autumn practice, we tend to find a lot more grounding, stability through those anchor points of the body. So noticing through each position this evening what parts of the body are onto the floor, and see if you can really feel the mat, the ground underneath those parts of the body. So nice big push through the heels of the hands. And then on your next inhale, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the elbows, look up, arching spine. As you exhale, push through the heels of the hands, drawing the navel in towards the back body as you lift up and round. Inhale, breath again, coming forward to open up across the chest. Shoulders back, nice big squeeze. Exhale, push through the heels of the hands and lift up through that center back. Again, noticing how that feels for your back body. So keep moving with your own breath pattern. And again, asking yourself, maybe your body has been a little bit more tired recently. Maybe things in our lives have changed, again, whether that be kids going back to school or you taking your time to go back into the office. Maybe your hours have changed, maybe anything else in the life might have changed, and then just finding perhaps whether that's manifested itself in your back body. Are your shoulders feeling particularly tight? Are your muscles particularly tired? Again, nice big open breaths, exhaling and inhaling to extend to your spine's full openness, making the most of that length as you exhale, pushing the floor away and opening up all the way through the back body. So nice big inhale and last exhale. Again, never rushing, just going with your own breath pattern. This time you're going to start to move forward in space. So as you inhale, squeezing elbows nice and tight, moving the body weight forward, and as you exhale, we're going to round it out and come to sit down towards those heels. Inhale breath, squeezing elbows, snaking the body forward nice and close to the floor, and then finally lifting up before we exhale and round it out through the back. Again, don't worry if you're not going with my breath, moving with your own breath pattern, working through the whole of that inhale, the whole of that exhale to get full extension through each position. A nice big lift to expand, and then that lengthening action as you come back. If you want, you can add a little tuck of the toes on your inhale breath to really open and lengthen, and then tuck the toes again as you come to the exhale breath. Again, that nice big inhale to lift and open, arching spine, and then exhaling out. So one more of those, again nice and lifted, exhaling back into child's pose. And as you come down, we're going to start to walk the hands forward and then bending at the elbows, take the hands into prayer behind the back of the head, or you can just place the hands on the back of the neck and between the shoulder blades. That sometimes feels really nice, a little bit of extra pressure onto that space. And then maybe you want to walk the elbows forward by another ½ an inch if it's possible. So into our nice tricep stretch child's pose. If you can, here on your exhale, tuck your tailbone and sort of draw your body back into those heels. And again, find a nice big long breath to open up the underside of those arms. Again, this evening's practice is all about grounding the body. And again, notice those parts of the body that are touching the floor, but also the parts of the body that are folded and touching each other. What happens to your belly as you breathe in deeply? Pushing its way onto the thighs, really pushing into that digestive system, squeezing through the endocrine system, through that lower intestine, and then again we're allowing that body to come back into nourishing those spaces as you breathe out, as you release that compression. So working on your breath. And then from here, bringing those hands back down onto the floor, palms facing the floor. And then as you inhale, lift up halfway. So we're going to come down onto our left elbow. And again, if you don't quite reach the floor, if it's really uncomfortable to reach the floor, then maybe placing a cushion underneath that elbow just to elevate you slightly, but so that you've got the forearm onto the floor. And then we're going to walk the right hand forward, so we've got a nice long arm. Again, maybe it be off the mat as long as it's comfortable and not knocking into anything. And then from here, pushing down through that left elbow, you're going to move your right hip towards the back right corner of the mat. So you're looking towards your right kneecap, you're reaching forward with those right fingertips, and you're pushing down through the left elbow. So nice and long stretch through the whole of that right side. If it's possible, tuck the tailbone under to feel more of a stretch in your hip. Big breath in and out. Again, really breathing into that right side of the rib cage, opening up the whole of that right lung. Big breath in. And then big sigh out. Sliding right elbow down and coming into child's pose. And then next inhale, coming up onto all fours. Right elbow comes down, again swapping to the pillow if you need to, and then walking left fingertips forward, nice and long through that left side. Big breath in. And as you exhale, we're sitting towards the back left corner of the mat. Again, we've got to keep some sort of height through the body by that reach with the left arm, so we can feel the pull underneath the arm, getting through into that armpit area. You can look towards the left kneecap, and then finally, if it's okay for you to tuck the tailbone under, then please do so. Again, long open breaths into that left side of the rib cage. So one more big breath in, and then as you exhale, big sigh. Left elbow falls back into child's pose. And then when you're ready, rolling the fingers, wriggling them while we have our head face down so that we can't see what we're doing, but we can feel into the floor. And then when you can plant those hands nice and open all the way through, from thumbs to little fingers to arches to heels of hands, really pushing down through the whole of those hands, and then on the inhale breath we're going to lift up halfway. Tucking toes as you exhale, lift up the whole way, downward dog. Bending through those knees so we can get the full stretch through upper body. And then as you inhale, take a nice big breath into the belly. Exhale it out through the mouth. Big breath into the belly. Exhale out through the mouth. Last one, into the belly. Out through the mouth. And then inhale up high onto toes. Nice big stretch. Pushing through the balls of those feet, and then rolling down into the balls of the feet, through to the arch, and then towards the heel. Doesn't matter if the heel doesn't reach the floor. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Two more, big breath in. Big sigh out. Last one, big breath in. Big sigh out. And then from here, as you inhale, lift up your right foot. Nice big stretch into three-legged dog. As you exhale, hug the right knee nice and high towards heart center, and heel toe in between the hands. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Feel grounded through the body by dropping the hips, pulling away through left heel and lifting up through chest. So coming into runner's lunge, broadening across through those collarbones. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Staying on fingertips. Inhale, right arm up, shoulders back. Exhale, right fingertips down. Inhale up, left arm, squeezing back through those shoulders. Exhale, full palm comes down as you bring the right foot back into plank. Big breath in. Big sigh out through the mouth. One more big breath in. As you exhale, squeeze the elbows and push yourself back into downward dog. Again, nice big breath in and out here. Bending through those knees, gazing or stepping between, jumping or stepping, between the hands, and then allow the head to fall. Inhale up halfway, fingertips on shins or onto floor, nice and flat through the spine, and then as you exhale, bend the knees and fold. We're going to come up, rolling up through ragdoll center. Slide nice and slowly through each and every vertebra of the spine. So really nice long lift through the whole of the back body. Now we're going to reset with our shoulder roll up, back and down. As you inhale, sweep your arms out and up, nice big lift. And as you exhale, bring your hands into heart center in prayer. Again, that nice big roll of the shoulders up, back and down. I'm just going to spend a moment in Tadasana. So heel toe the feet a little bit wider so that they are underneath your hips, so nice and grounded. Wriggle those toes, slightly pigeon toe the feet inwards so that we've got the inner edge of the feet in line. Thumbs onto the breastbone, and we're just going to close the eyes. Again, we're thinking about that sensation of grounding, of rooting down into the earth through the whole of the foot. So feeling the connection, maybe even wriggle those toes, maybe even roll on the feet in and out to find that connection all the way down through the whole of the foot. Big breath in. Big sigh out. One more big breath in. Big sigh out. And then blinking the eyelids open if they're not already. And from here, as you inhale, take the prayer up. Lifting your right knee and then bringing that right foot back into a warrior one. So we're going to soften ourselves down, open the palms up, shoulder width apart. Shoulders come down into their sockets, hips coming down towards the floor. We're going to roll in towards that right little toe side of the foot. Again, we're going to think about the whole of that foot pushing down evenly and equally into the floor. On your inhale breath, oh sorry, we're up, aren't we? On your exhale breath, we're going to take the arms out nice and wide. We're going to bring those into clasp and then start to roll the shoulders up, back and down, sliding thumbs onto the inside of the right foot. So as you open the gaze towards the ceiling, rolling those shoulders down your back to create that nice open space across the collarbones. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Soften into those hips. And then from here, draw the belly in towards the spine. Draw the chest above the belly so you're really straightening up your back, but keep your hands into clasp. And then take those clasped hands over towards your right waist. So I'm just going to turn towards you so you can see what I mean. So that left arm is nice and long and the right elbow is bent out to the side. Then from here, making sure hips are facing forward and there's no tension in your left toes. Drop the head over towards your right shoulder. So again, I'm going to turn to face towards you. So we're still looking forward, but we have that right ear dropping down towards the right shoulder. And the left shoulder is falling away from that left ear. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Again, maybe softening into the hips, watching that right foot, making sure the whole of that right foot is connected with the floor. Again, feeling rooted, feeling grounded here. And then leaving left hand where it is, sweep the right arm all the way up, reaching and lengthening, and then taking the right hand into the center of the shoulder blades behind you. Elbow is as tight and towards the head as possible as you unhook that left hand and draw it over towards the right elbow. So from here, pulling the elbow tighter in towards the center of the back of the head where possible, and then we're going to turn to look towards the ceiling. So laying back slightly into that stretch, but we're still lifting into the back of the rib cage. There's no crumpling down. Big breath in and out here again, finding that depth of inhale. If you can't inhale too deeply, then ease off from that lean back. Big breath in. Big sigh out. On the inhale breath, you're going to straighten up those legs. So nice big lift through the hips. And we're going to turn towards the right side. From here, we're going to make sure that the hips are even. So we're going to heel toe the left foot towards the right side of the mat so that your hips can face the right wall. On your exhale, we're going to come into a Trikonasana position with your body, but leave your arms where they are. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Let the left hand fall to the left thigh, but keep the right shoulder lifted. Last one, big breath in. Big sigh out. On the inhale, you're going to take that left arm forward and up and bring the hand back onto the elbow to give yourself a nice big lift through that side. So gentle lift. One more big breath in. And then you're going to unravel those arms into a warrior two. Softening left knee, opening out across the chest, broadening here. Big breath in. Big sigh out. On the inhale breath, you're going to lift both arms up towards the ceiling. Turn to face the right, straighten the left leg, and turn the left toes to face towards the right. Now, you may need to turn to round to the other side of the mat if it's easier to see me from that side, but that's okay. Just making sure the toes are facing towards one edge of your mat. Big breath in, lifting the chest. And as you exhale, open those arms out wide. Nice big lean forward through that heart center. Bring the fingertips underneath your shoulders, and as you inhale, lift up halfway. Pulling the heart center forward and the shoulder blades back. As you exhale, soften yourself down. Two more. Inhale up. Looking forward, shoulders back. Exhale, soften. Inhale, last one. Exhale. So just hanging out here for a moment. Maybe you want to bring the legs a little wider, but make sure that those toes are slightly pigeon-toed. And again, maybe you need to bend into those knees, but if you can, make sure it's even and just a little bit to give yourself a chance to get down with the upper body. Again, we're in our inversion now, so we're thinking about grounding. The crown of the head is rooting down towards the floor. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't, but whatever is touching the floor feels earthed, feels secure, feels safe and stable. So try and get yourself into a stable position where you can concentrate on that longer breath. So last big breath in and out. And then we're going to come over to your right foot. So I'm going to stay without mirroring today, so hopefully that's okay with you. Coming over towards my right foot. And we're going to lift the heel up as high as you possibly can off the floor. I'm just going to come back onto my mat so you can see me properly. So lifting that right heel up as high as you can off the floor. And then we're going to lift the left toes up off the floor. So we've got the underside of that leg as long as possible. So right heel is nice and high. We're lifting the chest. Big breath in, and then we're going to come down as far as we can by pulling the right heel down and coming towards the floor with that left underside of the thigh. So if you can, sitting towards the floor, sitting all the way down on the floor, don't worry if you can't, hovering is fine. And then we're going to reach those fingertips forward and tuck the head down to look towards the belly button. So nice big breaths in and out here. Again, finding depth to that breath. Left toes are pointing up towards the face. And then very slowly coming all the way back up, lifting up onto those right toes, turning left toes down and coming all the way over to that left foot. Again, the left heel starts off nice and high off the floor, turning those right toes up towards the ceiling and then lifting the chest nice and high. So lifting that left heel as high as you possibly can, lifting chest as high as you possibly can. Nice big breaths here, and then we're going to come as low as you can. So left heel comes down, we're rolling towards that right hip. Maybe you might need a little prop underneath you, but hopefully it doesn't matter if you're not on the floor, but if you can, hovering with that right set of toes coming back towards the face, elbows coming down, and then reaching forward, wriggling those fingertips forward as you roll down even deeper into that right hip and turn to look towards the belly button. So again, that nice long breath. thinking about what parts of your body are touching the floor, what parts need to hover, how grounded we're feeling through this. Maybe we're feeling a little bit unstable, but again, seeing if we can move slightly to move into a more grounded space, or use your breath to feel more grounded. And then very slowly, making your way back up and into the center. Again, we're going to come into our Prasarita stretch, so toes in, heels out slightly, fingertips onto the floor, inhale up halfway, and again we're going to soften ourselves down into the center. This time we are going to put a little bit of bend into those legs, just allow the head to fall, softening into the knees. So one more big breath in, followed by that grounding sigh. And then we're going to start to straighten ourselves up. So lifting up halfway, head is coming up last so that you don't get lightheaded. And then on the inhale breath, open the arms up nice and wide like wings. So stretching out along that fingertip line, squeezing shoulder blades back, and we're going to re-dip into the chest. So the chest is coming forward, shoulder blades are coming back and towards each other. Big breath in, big sigh out. And then on the next inhale, we're going to come all the way up, maybe even looking to the floor to make sure we're still nice and steady, and turn those right toes into a warrior two. So we're softening through upper body, opening out through hips, shoulders are relaxed, big breath in, big sigh out, one more big breath in, and then we're going to cartwheel right hand, left hand comes to join. Maybe you even want to do a vinyasa here, you don't have to, we're all going to meet in downward dog, so don't panic wherever you feel like you need to be. Child's pose for a breath or two if you want to. And then coming back into a downward dog. A nice easy breath here. So we're going to take 5 slow deep breaths in and out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So hopefully we're facing the back of your mat. So again, we're going to come onto the right side, hopefully, she says, planning it. So nice long breaths in and out here. And then on the next inhale, we're going to send that left foot up and back, stretching out into our 3-legged dog. Big breath in, big sigh out. Next inhale, lift the left knee nice and high and heel toe in between the hands. As always, move it forward if you need to, and make sure that that ankle is underneath the knee. Coming up onto fingertips, and again we're really grounding through those hips, so pulling down through the hips, back through the right heel, open through the chest. Long expansive breaths, no tension in those left toes. As you inhale, lift up left arm, shoulder blades back. As you exhale, left fingertips come down. Inhale up, right arm, shoulder blades back. Exhale, full palms come down. Inhale, left foot comes back into plank. As you exhale, big sigh through the mouth. Doming upper back slightly. And then again from here, squeezing elbows, pushing your way back into our downward dog. Bending through the knees, gazing between the hands. Jump or step in between the hands. Allow the head to fall. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend and fold over the legs. From here, again we're going to roll ourselves up ragdoll style, taking your time, finding each and every part of your spine. Reset with that shoulder roll up, back and down. Inhale, open through the chest. Exhale, hands together in heart. Again, heel toe the feet a little bit wider as we come into our Tadasana, just as our reset pose, mountain pose. Thumbs onto the breastbone, shoulders edging their way down. And then gently, as you close your eyes, think about those 4 corners of the feet. We'll talk about 4 corners of the feet in yoga Obviously your feet have got lots of different facets to them, but thinking about each part of that foot grounding down into the floor, into the earth, creating roots to soften and sink into the ground, and then from those roots growing upward, taller through the crown of the head, lengthening through that breath. Softening through the eyebrows. And then blinking those eyelids open. On the inhale, taking the arms out and up, lifting the left knee. And then as you exhale, bringing that left foot back into our warrior one. Again, we're drawing down through the shoulders, down through the hips, and thinking about those positions of the feet, making sure the whole of that left foot is grounded to the floor. Hips are pointing towards the back edge of your mat, or front edge of your mat, depending on where you are. And then on the exhale breath, we're going to take these arms out wide. Bringing them into clasp, rolling shoulders up, back and down, sliding thumbs on the inside of the left thigh, opening up through the chest. Again, that super long breath in and out, feeling lift to upper body, softness to the shoulders. And then pulling the belly button in towards the spine, try and be nice to that back body. Support it by drawing the belly in. You might find a lengthening of that left thigh, that's okay. Hands come towards your left waist, so clasped hands towards your left waist. And then from here, again, that left ear comes down towards the left shoulder, but the shoulder remains away from the ear, so try not to let it lift up. And we want that right shoulder sinking away. It's a gentle stretch for the neck. Again, that deeper breath here. Softening through those hips. Allowing that body to, again, ground its way to a softer, stable position. And then unhooking that left arm, reaching it all the way up. Taking the hand behind the back and drawing the elbows tight in towards the back of the head as possible. Unhooking right arm, lifting the hand onto the top of that left elbow. And then from here, pushing the back of the head into the forearm and lifting the chest. Again, avoiding that dropping down into the lower back. Still finding lift as you lean into that back bend. Thinking about opening up through the heart center, breathing deeper across the chest. And then on the next inhale, we're going to pull the legs straight and turn to look towards the left. So heel turning that right foot into the center line. Then I'm going to hop back a little bit so you can see me into our nice wide open hip stance. We're going to come forward into a Trikonasana, but keep hold of that lift of the left shoulder. Big breath in, big sigh out. Don't need to come down too far, big breath in. And as you sigh out, right hand comes to right thigh. Big breath in, big sigh out. And then on the inhale, use the left obliques to lift. Right arm comes forward and up. Back onto that left elbow as you take a gentle stretch the other way to counteract. And then as you exhale, we're going to come down into our warrior two. Again, we're centering through that middle line, dropping through the shoulders, dropping through tailbone, but remaining lifted through the crown of the head. Again, notice the hold of the foot underneath and where we're grounding into that earth. And then from here, as you inhale, reach arms up, facing towards that edge of the mat and turning those right toes in to come into our Prasarita stretch. Big breath in, lifting chest. As you exhale, reaching forward this time, nice and long through the back body. Fingertips down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale to fold forward. Another 2, inhale up halfway. Exhale to fold forward. Last time, inhale up halfway. And exhale to fold. We're going to open up the wingspan again, lifting halfway. And then from here, we're going to turn those heels in, toes out, to lift ourselves up into a goddess pose. So, or horse pose, if you want to call it horse pose, goddesses with the arms. So we're going to come into a nice, again, grounded goddess pose. We're thinking about rolling those kneecaps open. So again, the little toe side of the foot has the same amount of pressure as the big toe side of the foot. We're not just rolling inwards. So really think about and have that awareness about the whole of the underside of your feet. And then when we are comfortable enough on those feet, maybe take a little rock from left to right. As you exhale, we're going to drop down through that center line. The chest is over the hips, the shoulders are pointing forwards, and we're sinking into that center line. So nice big pull downwards to ground you again through the tailbone, but again we have that elevation up through the crown of the head. Big breath in, big sigh out. And then we're going to come into some eagle arms to open up upper back as well as lower back. So as you inhale, we're going to lift the arms out wide. And as you exhale, we're going to drop down a little bit further and bring one arm underneath the other. It doesn't matter. Crossing at the elbows, underneath the elbows or above the elbows, I should say. Either hands onto your shoulders, backs of hands together, or double wrap. Wherever we are on your inhale breath, lifting those elbows up, and as you exhale, sink down a little bit lower with those elbows lifted. On the inhale breath, we're going to unravel those arms, come to straight with legs and arms. And as you exhale, we're going to come and do the other side. Inhale up with the elbows, exhale down with the body. Unravel, inhale all the way up. One more time each side. Inhale up with the elbows, exhale down. Inhale, unravel. Exhale. Inhale up with the elbows, exhale down. Inhale, unravel, this time full goddess with arms. So elbows come down, palms are open. We're raising the gaze skyward. But again, that tailbone is drawing down and we're feeling length to the whole of the back. Taking some really deep breaths here. Grounded through shoulders, through hips. One more sinking, softening through that center before we cross the hands towards the floor and then give yourself a nice big list to open up the whole of the body. Exhale to cross the hands. Inhale to sweep it up. Exhale to cross the hands. Inhale to sweep it up. This time we're going to come into warrior two, facing towards the front edge of your mat. So left toes forward, right toes slightly tucked, and then bend into that left knee. Big breath in. Big sigh out. One more big breath in. Big sigh out. And again, maybe we want to cartwheel the hands over and come into a vinyasa or down dog or child's pose. Again, whatever is speaking to you this evening is how we should be practicing. So don't worry about anything else, just finding your own way back into a nice easy down dog. And find those 5 long inhales, softening exhales. And then when you've done your 5, knees come down, untuck the toes and just rest in child's pose for a moment. But we're going to either get a pillow or your rolled up blanket and place it underneath those upturned palms. So hopefully you can reach, your forehead reaches the floor. If not, just let the head hang. It should be fine. If it's uncomfortable, then just bring something underneath your forehead. So externally rotating those upper arms, lengthening the breath. And then very slowly, bringing yourself up, and hopefully we're in the right place already with our towel. We want it to be across the belly, so across the navel. So when you come down, the belly button is onto the towel, and then come into a Sphinx pose with your upper body. So palms and elbows are in line, making the number 11, and the elbows are underneath your shoulders. So hopefully it's not too uncomfortable. Maybe if you've got a big blanket, you might need to undo some of it, because we want to start to hollow out the belly by filling it with the towel as you exhale. So take a nice deep breath in, and then as you blow out through the mouth, you can really let that cavity open up and sink into the towel. So again, hopefully it's not too uncomfortable. If it's uncomfortable, then please do take the towel away. But we want to take a few nice deep breaths in, and that big exhale, letting the belly soften away. Again, it's that compression that we're trying to get through our digestive system. Big breath in, big flushing breath out, making way for all that fresh new air, fresh new energy. Big breath in, big sigh out, final big breath in, big breath out, and then on the inhale breath, start to lift the chest, open the gaze a little, just for that final big breath in, big sigh out, and then gently release. So bring your hands back to support you. We're going to come into a nice gentle forward bend. We're going to take our towel again, or blanket, using it quite a lot today, and place it underneath your knees so that your legs are not going to take it in the hamstrings too much. Again, if you've got really tight hamstrings, maybe fold it again so it's a little bit higher up, so your knees are a little bit higher up. But feet are around about hip width apart, and your hands are placed beside your knees. As you inhale, give yourself a nice big lift through your chest, and as you exhale, we're going to roll the belly over the thighs. So as much as possible, bring the belly over your thighs. You can let the body soften a little bit through the upper back, through the shoulders, maybe even let the head hang, but if you can, keep the belly close to those thighs. And again, those really nice grounding, softening breaths, easing out upper back, shoulders, pushing into the belly. And then very slowly rolling your way up before we come into a final spinal twist and then our relaxation. So we're going to place that right foot opposite your left knee, coming into our half Lord of the Fishes pose, our deep spinal twist. But make sure that if you're feeling a little bit too close to the body, you bring your right foot forward slightly, so you've got a bit more space for your upper body. Bring the left hand around the knee and the right hand behind, flexing left foot, facing forwards, and as you inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, still facing forward, start to twist from lower back, middle back, upper back, and then finally through the neck. If you usually take your bind, absolutely fine, just making sure that your left shoulder doesn't roll forwards too much, so that we are actually getting the best out of that position. And while we're here, sending that breath all the way down into that belly, again thinking about that compression on the inner groin, on the belly, on that lower intestine, so we can flush that fresh new blood flow into those areas. Again, we're thinking about getting into a nice new open state for our body. Big breath in, big sigh out, unwinding your spine. And then coming straight onto the other side. So left foot over right knee, right hand, left knee, left hand behind. Again, flexing right foot, looking towards those toes as you inhale straight up through the spine. Keep looking towards the front, lower back, middle back, upper back, and then finally the head. Again, you can stay here, finding that lift through low spine. If you know that you don't need to prop up your lower back, you can take the bind. But just be conscious that we're not rounding through your body to accommodate that bind. It's not going to be as good for you as having that straight back. Again, suitably lengthy breaths into that lower belly. Easing maybe just that little bit deeper into the twist. One more big breath in, followed by that huge sigh out. Unwinding the spine, unraveling those arms, and bringing the left foot down. Giving yourself a little wiggle before we shift the hips to halfway through the mat. So we're going to come down, and if you want to, we can do supported fish pose. Again, if you're feeling a little bit tired, or maybe those muscles and joints feel super open, then maybe you want to just come down into Shavasana. But I am going to come into a supported fish pose. You need something that's not too dense, but not too long either, because we're going to place it into the middle of the back this time. We want to place it around about just above the sacrum, so the bony part of the low spine, the flat bony part of the low spine. And then I like to support my head too, so make sure that you've got something underneath your head. So rolling back down into it. I'm just going to get this down so we can have some music too. So rolling back down into it. And we want to make sure that your shoulders can sink away from that midline. And you're going to bring the arms out beside you this time, or maybe even onto the belly. Again, if you want, you can rest with your knees up, or if it feels more comfortable for you, you can come into our bound angle pose. So feet together, knees out wide, and kind of like a butterfly pose. Again, wherever we are, because this is our Shavasana for the evening, we want it to be as comfortable as possible. So if you need to make minute changes, then please do so before you close your eyes. And then gently coming into that still space for your body, allowing those muscles to soften and sink. No tension through thighs, through hips, through knees. Allowing that chest space to be open, filling up the lungs with fresh new energy, fresh new air. Softening through the shoulders, through neck. Feeling weightless here. Slowly rolling to one side to remove your props, still if you can with eyes closed. Starting to stretch out through your body. Just coming into our regular Shavasana for a couple of breaths, noticing space, noticing those touch points of the body on the floor. Taking a big breath in. As you exhale, big sigh to feel again that rooting, that grounding, that softness. This time reach your arms above your head, stretching again. Big sigh to soften. And then rolling your way over to the right hand side. As always, take a moment here, take a breath. Coming slowly back into the body. And only when you're ready, still with eyes closed, coming back into our comfortable seat. Placing hands, palms face down onto the knees. As always, we take this time to acknowledge our practice, giving thanks, having gratitude for all that we are, for all that we have. Acknowledging this is a time of transition, being kind to ourselves, and coming away from the mat with that sense of grounding, stability, of openness. Bringing palms together, rubbing them to warmness. Placing those hands as cups over the eyes. Fluttering eyelids open. And bringing the hands down into prayer. Namaste. Thank you very much for watching this evening's practice. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do either leave me a comment or a little thumbs up on the video below. And if you do have the means to, any donation is welcome, and again you can find the link on the video below. If you are one of our Sunday yogis, please do note that as of the 14th of September we are now a booking only service. So please do book your space. It's still pay by donation. So please do not book unless you are a definite to attend, and please do cancel well within time so that somebody else can take your space. But please do look at the website for more details. It's yogimehappy.co.uk. Many thanks for your time and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste.